Tonight, breaking news, the images coming in, the earthquake rattling the Los Angeles area. You'll see the images. Also late today, the new tropical storm that has just formed now in the Atlantic. And the dramatic shift in the race for the White House, what new polls are now showing tonight in some key battlegrounds. First tonight, the earthquake hitting just a few miles north of Los Angeles.
We have a bit of an earthquake here in Los Angeles.
ESPN's NBA Today crew live on the air when the shaking started. Students evacuated on the first day of school. Residents now being warned about potential aftershocks. Also just in, it is now officially Tropical Storm Ernesto in the Atlantic. The potential track of this and when it could become a hurricane. Ginger Z is standing by with the track. The race for the White House tonight and the new polls this evening in some key battlegrounds showing Vice President Kamala Harris leading Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. Vice President Harris drawing major crowds, 15,000 turning out in Detroit, about 15,000 in Phoenix. And tonight, Donald Trump now falsely claiming that the images of the crowds you see at Kamala Harris events are generated by artificial intelligence. And tonight, the idea Trump says Harris stole from him. Also at this hour, Israel on high alert. The U.S. moving a guided missile submarine into the region. Iran doubling down on its threat to retaliate against Israel. The war in Ukraine tonight, and for the first time, President Zelensky confirming a Ukrainian military offensive is underway, some 18 miles inside Russia. Tonight, Vladimir Putin calling in reinforcements. What we've now learned after that passenger jet plunged 17,000 feet from the sky. The medical breakthrough tonight for the millions who suffer from food allergies or allergic to bee stings. For the first time, the FDA approving a nasal spray now instead of a shot. And what do Harrison Ford, Angela Bassett, and Kelly Ripa all have in common? The Disney honor, the tears, and the laughter tonight.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. It is great to be back with all of you at home. We have several developing headlines at this hour. The new tropical storm that has just formed in the Atlantic tonight. Also, the dramatic shift in the race for the White House, the new polls in some key battlegrounds, and we'll show you. But we do begin tonight with the earthquake rocking Los Angeles, the 4.4 quake just north of downtown L.A. Tonight, authorities warning millions to be prepared for aftershocks. And this was the moment on ESPN's NBA Today. They were actually live on the air.
As we have a bit of an earthquake here in Los Angeles. So we're just going to make sure that our studio lights, everything stays safe, everything's shaking.
They were live from their Los Angeles studio when the quake struck. Anchor Malika Andrews pausing to see if everyone was safe there, handling it very well. Students at Wilson High School evacuated to the athletic field. Today was the first day of classes for the LA schools, the country's second largest school system. A broken pipe at Pasadena's City Hall sending water cascading down. And of course, tonight, that concern for possible aftershocks now. ABC's Melissa Adan leading us off. She's in Pasadena tonight.
Tonight, millions bracing for aftershocks. After a significant earthquake rattled Southern California. The magnitude 4.4 quake centered under the Highland Park neighborhood of Los Angeles around 12:20 p.m. local time, and it was felt all over L.A.
It was a jolt, and then the building just started to shake violently.
As we have a bit of an earthquake here in Los Angeles.
And that moment when ESPN's Malika Andrews was on the air talking basketball.
Tomatoes, that's an earthquake. That's an earthquake.
Oh, wow, that is a real earthquake.
Whoa, that is a real one, guys.
The radio studio also broadcasting live.
How big was that one?
The scientists at the U.S. Geological Survey ducking for cover themselves.
This is my first quake in seismology.
It's a pretty good jolt. Nothing was knocked over, but I think almost everybody felt it.
The quake bursting a pipe near the top of Pasadena's City Hall, where someone was briefly stuck in an elevator.
Our crews discovered that a sprinkler head at the very top of the rotunda, actually the piping broke, causing a water flow.
Authorities evacuating students out of this middle school on the first day of school for many LASD students. The LA Fire Department activating earthquake mode, fanning out into neighborhoods all over the city, inspecting for damage.
David, so far no substantial reports of any significant damage or injuries. Now the city of LA and LA County officials are monitoring and watching for any possible aftershocks. David.
All right, Melissa Adan in Pasadena for us tonight. Melissa, thank you. And of course, from the earthquake to this new tropical threat in the Atlantic at this hour, it is now officially Tropical Storm Ernesto, forming late today. Warnings tonight for Puerto Rico and other islands. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z back with us on a Monday night with the potential track of this and when it could become a hurricane. Hey, Ginger.
Hey, David, Ernesto formed about 10 days before the average fifth named storm of the season, but it's still more than 900 miles to the east-southeast of San Juan, Puerto Rico. But it's moving fast, west at 28 miles per hour. This group of thunderstorms that is now Ernesto is going to get to that Lesser Antilles pretty quickly, the northern part of it at least. Tropical storm warnings include Puerto Rico, St. Martin, St. Vincent. We're talking about 3 to 6 inches of rain, widespread, and up to 10 locally. Then we'll turn the path to the north, and it's by Thursday that we see it becoming a hurricane, at least by then. It could happen a little earlier than that, and then takes a track toward Bermuda as we get into the weekend, so that'd be Saturday afternoon. That path is wide, but it still stays east of the United States, mostly because of that trough, so these steering factors are going to help keep it away. We will, however, David, going through the weekend, have big rip currents and high surf.
Okay, Ginger Z, we love seeing the spaghetti model well off the East Coast. So let's hope it stays there. Ginger, thank you. We see the wind there tonight as well. In the meantime, we turn to the race for the White House tonight. Just 85 days until Election Day, 1 week now until the Democratic National Convention. And tonight, new polls in some key battlegrounds showing a dramatic shift in the race. Vice President Kamala Harris now ahead of Donald Trump in 3 key states, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, 50 to 46 within the margin of error. The vice president drawing major crowds. Among the battleground stops, 15,000 turning out in Detroit, about 15,000 in Phoenix, too. And tonight, Donald Trump now falsely claiming that some of the images of those crowds are being generated by artificial intelligence. Here's ABC senior White House correspondent Selina Wang.
Tonight, new battleground polling shows a radically changed race for the White House, with 85 days to go. Vice President Kamala Harris now leading former President Donald Trump in 3 crucial Rust Belt states, states where Trump and President Biden were virtually tied, with Trump having the edge. Now in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, Harris leading Trump among likely voters 50 to 46% within the margin of error. Harris and running mate Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, fresh off their first week together, blitzing the battlegrounds.
We have the momentum, and I know exactly what we are up against.
Her campaign blasting Trump for not doing the same, saying Vice President Harris is the only candidate out on the campaign trail in swing states fighting to win this election. Okay by us. That new polling also showing enthusiasm for the Democratic ticket has skyrocketed since Harris became the nominee. Supporters showing up by the thousands to Harris-Walz rallies. The campaign says 14,000 people attended the rally in Philadelphia, while at least 15,000 were in the crowds in Phoenix and Detroit. Trump now falsely suggesting this image of the crowd in Detroit was produced by artificial intelligence. Posting on social media, has anyone noticed that Kamala cheated at the airport? There was nobody at the plane, and she AI'd it and showed a massive crowd of so-called followers, but they didn't exist. It's just not true. Video and images from these events clearly show the crowds the Harris campaign is reporting. And while Harris's campaign says they've been in the battlegrounds, Donald Trump sitting down with Elon Musk for a conversation on X, formerly known as Twitter. The live stream delayed, Musk said, due to a cyber attack. Trump commenting on the million-plus users listening.
We have to consider it an honor, but congratulations on breaking every record in the book tonight. That's great.
Trump going after Harris for vowing to eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers, an idea he first proposed.
Because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
The former president accusing Harris of copying his idea, saying this was a Trump idea. She has no ideas, she can only steal from me. But Vice President Harris taking it a step further, saying not only should taxes on tips be eliminated, but the minimum wage should be raised too.
When I am president, we will continue our fight for working families of America. Including to raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Going to be a key economic issue moving forward. Let's bring in Selina Wang at the White House tonight. Selina, we're now just 1 week away from the Democratic National Convention. Of course, kicks off next Monday in Chicago. What do we know about who will speak at the convention?
Well, David, the Harris campaign is hoping to ride this momentum all the way to the convention. Sources say that former Presidents Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton are expected to speak there, as well as President Biden. And today, the White House saying that President Biden is looking forward to the convention and talking directly to the American people about the stakes of this election. David?
Selina Wang at the White House for us. Selina, thank you. ABC News, of course, will cover the Democratic Convention in Chicago next week, beginning Monday in prime time on ABC News Live and right here on the network. We do have one more campaign note tonight. The FBI now saying it is investigating an alleged hack of Trump campaign emails. The Trump campaign has said they were hacked by, quote, foreign sources with the intent to interfere in the upcoming election. Microsoft confirming a group run by Iranian intelligence hacked the email account of a former senior advisor of a presidential campaign. Microsoft did not identify the specific campaign. Sources now tell ABC News the Biden-Harris campaign was also targeted as well. Overseas tonight, Israel is on high alert, bracing for an attack that could soon come. Iran doubling down on its threat to retaliate against Israel. The U.S. moving a guided missile submarine into the region, a rare announcement of the location of a U.S. submarine. ABC's Soufi Burridge in Tel Aviv tonight.
Tonight, an attack from Iran or its proxies on Israel, now expected this week, say U.S. officials. Those officials cautiously optimistic Iran will limit the scope of its actions to avoid significant escalation. But the White House saying it has to be prepared for what could be a, quote, significant set of attacks. Iran and Hezbollah doubling down on their threats to retaliate for two high-profile assassinations in Tehran and Beirut. The IDF now on high alert as the US moves more military assets to the Middle East, revealing a guided missile submarine whose location is normally top secret is heading to the region.
What we're focused on is continuing to de-escalate diplomatically. Our hope and our intent is to make sure that an attack doesn't happen.
Overnight, Hezbollah probing Israeli defences, firing dozens of rockets into northern Israel, most of them intercepted by the Iron Dome. Israeli blood banks and fortified underground hospitals preparing for an attack. It comes as Hamas, another ally of Iran, signals it won't enter into a new round of Gaza ceasefire and hostage talks because it says it already accepted a deal weeks ago. And tonight, the IDF reacting to a Hamas claim that Hamas's own guards in two separate incidents shot and killed a hostage and seriously wounded two other people being held captive. The IDF saying it has no intelligence to refute or confirm Hamas's claims.
And David, Israel has banned all its Air Force pilots from leaving the country. The IDF still not issuing emergency guidelines for civilians. And tonight, a US official confirming the US is sending back-channel messages to Iran. David?
Soufi Burridge in Tel Aviv for us tonight. Tom, thank you. Now to the war in Ukraine. And tonight, for the first time, President Zelensky now confirming that a Ukrainian military offensive is underway some 18 miles inside Russia. Thousands of Russians have been forced to evacuate, and Vladimir Putin has been forced to call in reinforcements. Here's our chief foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, tonight.
Tonight, the surprise Ukrainian offensive inside Russia expanding into another region. Video circulating online showing troops raising the blue and yellow flag of Ukraine in occupied villages. The commander-in-chief of Ukrainian forces tonight claiming they've taken around 380 square miles of Russian territory. Some estimate they could be as deep as 18 miles inside Russia. Thousands of Ukrainian troops are believed to have crossed into two border areas in the last week, around Kursk and now Belgorod, two places used to launch attacks on Ukraine. This is the moment a Ukrainian missile came crashing down in Kursk after being intercepted, seen in video online. Fierce firefights have been reported as Russia urgently sends in defensive units, attacking with drones and aircraft. Over 100,000 residents forced to flee their homes in a mirror image of the Russian occupation of Ukrainian towns and villages. President Zelensky confirming the operation, which has been shrouded in secrecy. Today, a rattle Putin holding an emergency meeting, ordering the defense ministry to push to kick the enemy out of our territory. Facts are few, but this is the biggest occupation of Russian territory by a foreign army since the Second World War. Russia claiming American and NATO military equipment is being used, which would be a potential breach of agreements, but no evidence is being offered.
David, Vladimir Putin claims that Ukraine's trying to improve its negotiating position in any future talks. In other words, trying to swap land for land. But it's an embarrassing blow for the Kremlin. And I think two key questions tonight. One, how far can Ukraine go? How much territory can it take? And two, can it hold on to it? David?
We're watching this closely. Ian Panel with us tonight. Thank you, Ian. Now to the investigation of that deadly passenger plane plunging and crashing in Brazil. They have now recovered the black boxes and engines. The dramatic video you'll remember capturing the final moments, the twin-engine turboprop plane spinning, falling 17,000 feet in just 1 minute. All 62 passengers and crew on board were killed. Officials say the pilots did not call for help. In Greece tonight, a major wildfire just north of Athens is racing toward the capital, forcing mass evacuations. The fast-moving fire breaking out 24 hours ago, fueled by strong winds. More than 30,000 people forced to leave their homes. Smoke darkening the sky over Athens' famous monuments, with temperatures set to reach 100 degrees. Extraordinary images. When we come back here tonight, the deadly house explosion, 2 dead. You'll see the images here. Also, the medical breakthrough tonight for millions who suffer from food allergies or bee sting allergies. The nasal spray now instead of a shot. And later tonight, what do Harrison Ford, Angela Bassett, and Kelly Ripa all have in common? It was quite an honor, and you'll see it. Tonight, authorities are investigating a gas leak blamed for a deadly house explosion just outside Baltimore. A homeowner and building contractor for Baltimore Gas and Electric already at the house. They were killed in the blast. That contractor was there for an electrical problem. Firefighters were on the way after reports of a gas leak. The house exploded, though, before they got there. When we come back here tonight, the FDA approving a new treatment for a potentially life-threatening allergy attack, a nasal spray now instead of a shot. And John Williams, Harrison Ford, Angela Bassett, Kelly Ripa, it was quite a night, and you'll see it. To the index, the FDA now approving the first needle-free drug to treat life-threatening allergic reactions to food or bee stings. A nasal spray called Neffy will help slow anaphylaxis. It should be available here in the U.S. within 8 weeks, a welcome change. When we come back tonight, Harrison Ford, Angela Bassett, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kelly Ripa, the big honor in a moment here. Finally tonight, the new Disney Legends. It was a star-studded event, this year's Disney Legends. 14 names you'll know, 14 legends known for their iconic work. Disney's CEO, Bob Iger.
It's presented as a celebration of talent, a recognition of achievement, and above all else, a sincere expression of deep gratitude on our part.
Actress Angela Bassett honored.
I am queen of the most powerful nation in the world!
The Queen of Wakanda.
From day one, in my pursuit of a career as an actress, I have understood that I am a part of something greater than myself.
Hollywood icon Jamie Lee Curtis honored too.
You are the legends, because without you, none of this is possible.
The youngest recipient, Miley Cyrus, who got her start as Hannah Montana, crediting much of her success now to that famous alter ego.
I stand here still proud to have been Hannah Montana because she made Miley in so many ways.
I see you. I see you.
Trailblazers on screen and off. Avatar director James Cameron. Composer John Williams now adding Disney legend to his list of honors. One of his soundtracks familiar to another honoree.
Snakes.
Harrison Ford getting a standing ovation.
I'm really delighted and a little bit embarrassed by this, but I'm so very grateful. Thank you very much.
A standing ovation for Martha Blanding, too, the first full-time black tour guide at Disneyland, and what her mother told her all those years ago.
My mother came to talk to me. She told me never to let other people determine your future. That's your job. And I did.
And after 34 years with Disney, from All My Children to waking up with her on Live for more than 20 years, Kelly Ripa honored.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. Why her? What has she ever done? She doesn't even go here.
Kelly Ripa, now a Disney legend and grateful.
Without you, none of my adult life would have been possible. Thank you so very much. I'm so honored.
Always charming. We honor them all. The ceremony now streaming on Disney+. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.